Unit 16. Analysis. Moskowitz set up shop in the 70s, and one of his first clients was Pepsi. The artificial sweetener aspartame had just become available, and Pepsi wanted Moskowitz to figure out the perfect amount of sweetener for a can of Diet Pepsi. Pepsi knew that anything below 8% sweetness was not sweet enough, and anything over 12% was too sweet. So Moskowitz made up experimental samples of Diet Pepsi with every conceivable degree of sweetness: 8%, 8.25%, 8.5%, and on up to 12%. And then he gave them to hundreds of people and looked for the concentration that people liked the most. But the data were a mess. There wasn't a pattern. And one day, sitting in a diner, Moskowitz realized why. They had been asking the wrong question. There was no such thing as the perfect Diet Pepsi. They should have looked for the perfect Diet Pepsis. Unit 16. Analysis. Fear is a good thing. If we are completely fearless, it wouldn't be long before we were eaten by a crocodile or fell off a tall building. It's very difficult to figure out what people are most afraid of, but among the most common phobias is a fear of spiders. Why we should be afraid of non-aggressive creatures hundreds of times smaller than we are is a mystery. Probably the most common fear, if you grouped several together, is the fear of other people. Most people get sweaty-palmed and dry-mouthed at the thought of public speaking, for example. And agoraphobia, which affects 1 person in 20, can stop sufferers from leaving their homes for years in extreme cases. Perhaps it's pretty reasonable. After all, which other animal is as scheming, unpredictable, and dangerous as people are? Practice 1. Surely nothing would count as having human-level intelligence unless it had language. And the chief use of human language is to talk about the world. In this sense, intelligence is bound up with what philosophers call intentionality. Moreover, language is a social phenomenon, and a primary use of language within a group of people is to talk about the things they can all perceive, such as this tool or that piece of wood, or have perceived, yesterday's piece of wood, or might perceive, tomorrow's piece of wood maybe. In short, language is grounded in awareness of the world. In an embodied creature or a robot, such an awareness would be evident from its interactions with the environment, avoiding obstacles, picking things up, and so on. But we might widen the conception to include a distributed, disembodied artificial intelligence equipped with suitable sensors. 2. There are many talented executives with the ability to manage operations, but great leadership is not based solely on great operational ability. Leading is not the same as being the leader. Being the leader means you hold the highest rank, either by earning it, having good fortune, or navigating internal politics. Leading, however, means that others willingly follow you, not because they have to, not because they are paid to, but because they want to. A great leader knows how to lead the company. Those who lead are able to do so because those who follow trust that the decisions made at the top have the best interest of the group at heart. In turn, those who trust work hard because they feel like they are working for something bigger than themselves. 3. Routines are different than habits and rituals. Habits are repetitive behaviors that individuals perform without conscious thought. Behavioral habits are done automatically and typically involve a restricted range of behaviors. For example, a child may have a habit of sucking on the end of her blanket when going to sleep. A routine, in contrast, involves a sequence of highly ordered steps. A child's bedtime routine might include taking a bath, brushing his or her teeth, reading a book, saying prayers, and then sucking on the end of a blanket before going to sleep. Rituals, on the other hand, tend to be more symbolic and linked to emotional bonds within the family. They often provide continuity across generations and are unique and meaningful to the family. A routine has the ability to become a ritual when it is repeated over time and takes on symbolic meaning.